Most of us are buried under a daily avalanche of pings, emails, and calendar invites. We've been trained to believe that saying yes to every single one of these demands is the primary engine of career advancement. This habit is driven by the planning fallacy. When someone asks if you're free to take on a project next month, your brain imagines a version of you with wide open afternoons. You agree to the work, but that free time never actually materializes. To break out of this cycle, we can look at the way one of the wealthiest people in history allocates his time. Warren Buffett operates on an opposing philosophy. Buffett observed a distinct dividing line in the business world. He noted that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that the really successful ones say no to almost everything. Our culture pushes us to grab every opportunity. Yet the daily habits of elite performers suggest that strategic refusal, guarding time with near irrational ferocity, is the actual mechanism that drives achievement. Buffett has a specific system for enforcing this discipline. It's a method he reportedly taught to his personal pilot to help him prioritize his career. The exercise starts by writing down your top 25 career goals. Once they are all on paper, you force yourself to isolate your top 5 most important priorities. You might think those remaining 20 items become your backup plan, but under Buffett's rule, they become your avoid-at-all-costs list. These secondary goals are dangerous because they are interesting and legitimate. They are just compelling enough to drain your cognitive bandwidth, but they rarely yield exceptional results. The entrepreneur Derek Sivers uses a complementary daily heuristic to maintain this boundary. When evaluating a new request, if your reaction isn't an immediate "hell yeah," the answer must be no. Achieving a high level of personal output requires defining a target and actively starving all other alternatives of your time and energy. This individual focus mirrors the structural data seen at the corporate level. The world's largest companies face a similar penalty when they lose their concentration. The Boston Consulting Group recently analyzed the portfolios of 740 companies in the S&P Global 1200 Index, tracking their performance over a 23-year period. This chart shows the diverging fortunes of these companies. The market consistently punishes corporate diversification. Analysts call this gap the diversification discount, a measurable financial penalty companies suffer when they spread capital and talent across unrelated markets. This dynamic was visible during the return of Steve Jobs to Apple in 1997. Jobs didn't save the company by introducing a flood of new innovations. Instead, he slashed Apple's product line from hundreds of items down to just 4 core computers. In both cases, scattering resources limits growth. The data and these case studies suggest that narrow concentration is what creates premium value. A clear schedule or a streamlined product line provides the essential infrastructure for deep work. It creates the quiet necessary to process difficult problems over long time horizons. After his initial voyages, Charles Darwin turned down social and networking obligations to structure his life around long, uninterrupted stretches of thinking. This refusal to engage in the noise of professional life gave him 20 years of isolated thought, resulting in his world-changing evolutionary theories. During the plague years, Isaac Newton made a similar retreat, leaving the heavy academic and social obligations of Cambridge University. Protecting this isolated time allowed Newton to formulate calculus and the theory of gravity in a condensed 18-month window. Saying no is uncomfortable. It triggers a fear of missing out and can feel like a personal rejection. But refusing the merely good is the only way to say a true yes to a primary mission. Your attention is a finite economic resource. To achieve the exceptional, you must pinpoint your one true priority and defend it against the pull of everything else.